All right, let's get into it. So, this is the one we were looking right now to follow, correct? Um, let's just read housekeeping, right? Let's go to the description. This solicitation now posted the Army contracting command and just intends to award a firm fixed price purchase order as a result of the solicitation. Please review the attached performance work statement, site map, and solicitation for detailed requirements. The solicitation is a 100% 80 set aside. All right, so we won't. So 80. So generally, it is a small business, but there are a unique category within small businesses, meaning there is a process, to be selected for the 8A program. So it is different. In as much as I am considered a small business, I am not certified. I am not 8A certified. So I won't be bidding for that contract. It takes a lot of companies over a year to get certified. Approximately 70% of all applications have been rejected. Almost all applicants face at least one challenge during the process. Yeah, it's kind of I heard it's a little steep to get into, but it's worth it for the people who have successfully gotten into it. So maybe down the line I might look into getting into it. So definitely we are going to be scrapping out this. And in the interim, let's see. What do we have? All right. So this is another opportunity. So these as usual, the usual corporates, that is the notification ID, is the Department of Defense, the Army, sub-tier, command, and the sub-command. And this is the office, New England. All right. So what do we know about this one? So this one is due on April 2nd. I want to believe we do have a little bit of time, a week or so. Let's see if we can bid on this one. But before we are hasty, so this is due EDT, Eastern Daylight Time. So before getting ahead of ourselves, view changes. The only change was made on March 19th, meaning it was initially posted on March 19th and it was updated on the 21st. Okay. 3 days later on. So this is a classification set aside to the small business. So for businesses that make under 20 something million, I think under 22 million a year in revenue, this is what this is set aside for: product code, housekeeping, custodial, janitorial. And the next code is janitorial services. Place of performance is Amherst, Massachusetts. All right. That's good to know. So let's go through the job description. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, New England, New England District, issuing a solicitation notice for janitorial service. Recruiting center, 6 location in Weston, Massachusetts. The work consists of provide all management, supervision, inspection, personnel, equipment, tools, supplies, materials, transportation, and other items necessary to perform a janitorial service as described in the schedule of Janitorial services in the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers leased space. Janitorial service applies to all designated spaces, including but not limited to halls, restroom, offices, work areas, entranceways, lobbies, common areas, test room areas, and stage room areas in accordance with the performance of work statement. Locations include, so they did go ahead and list all the locations. This procurement is a set aside for small business vendors. The applicable NAICS code is with small business size of, standard of 22 million in revenue. All vendors must have an active, we talked about this, right? So all vendors must have an active registration in SAM.gov. Why did they have to specify active? Is because there are a couple of people that are registered in SAM.gov. However, their status is not active, meaning they haven't renewed their certification, validation, all of that. So right now they are inactive. If they were to check their entity is going to show inactive on SAM.gov. So in order for you to be able to bid on this and for your bid to be a valid bid, they are saying you have to be active, meaning you just don't have to be registered with SAM.gov, but your registration has to be active. So that is key. All right, download links. So they did give us 4 attachments, and we have the amendment that was made after the initial solicitation. This is the amendment. And then we do have the bid schedule. This is important. And then other attachments. Okay, whatever that is. So normally we would go to download, click to download. All right, I already did download that. All right, I'm going to open that. You're going to have a zip file, and when you open the zip file, you should get something like this. It should contain all 4 attachments. All right. As you can see, the bid schedule is an Excel sheet. So we are going to go ahead and move that aside. Let us look into this. All right, let's go ahead and open those documents. So this is a solicitation. This is the amendment, and those are the other attachments. So this is what generally a solicitation looks like. So we haven't had the opportunity to break all of this down, but we will. We will eventually break this down in an upcoming video of how to break all of this down. But the information on it is clear for the most part, It does have the basic informations that it should contain. Oh, what we didn't do is we didn't check the points of contact, did we? All right, this one, they have just one point of contact, which is the primary point of contact, and that is Alicia, and that is their email address and their phone number. The reason that came to my mind was because while I was looking at this, it does have their name on there. So for the most part also, this document, if you were to send this document over, say you want to work with it, you want to get a subcontractor, for the most part, you have to send them a document that they can understand, And true, you can send this document to some of them. Very few of them are savvy enough to go through the document to get exactly what information is required of them. So this is where you will have to do some of the heavy lifting by going through the documents, sorting out what exactly will be needed, and send that over to a potential subcontractor. So let's just go through it a little bit. The contract number, um, award, effective date, all of this is going to be filled out. So this is the solicitation issue date, and this is the due date. They have that on there. This is unrestricted or set aside. This is set aside 100% for small businesses. This is a location which the contract will be performed. The performance is going to take place. This is a location. That is a code. And what else do we have? It says this contract is rated order under DPass. I don't know what that is. Let's do edit. Yes, I do have Adobe Pro, like I mentioned earlier. Those are just some of the tools that are vital. So if you can afford it, you go ahead and get it. If not, just use the free one, and I'm sure you can find online. There are free PDF editors online, so you can always use that as well. Defense priorities and allocation system. Okay, that's just a system which the defense department, the defense agencies use to method of solicitation, RFQ. Also, if you don't know what RFQ is, check the link, check the video, just follow the link that is going to pop up right now, and then go check that link. It will give you that information. It will give you that information. You can see what an RFQ means. Okay, delivery to C schedule. Payment will be all of that based on your mode of payment, meaning we are going to see all of that also. Okay, solicitation incorporated by reference of the FAR. If you don't know what FAR is, if this is your first video you're watching, follow that link and then it will take you to what FAR is. Just check the government contracting playlist and find government contracting 101. You will see some of these definitions in there and what they stand for. Addenda, okay, this is just a lot. So yes, most of that information is relevant, but we will eventually have to fill some of this information out. So, yep, just like I said, signature of the offeror or contractor. So you see, we will have to fill this out. This is when we are sending our bid in. So right now, this is not important. Okay. So let's jump into it. This is a continuation sheet, but this is question regarding the solicitation. This is the POC, the POC, point of contact. This is who we'll be reaching out to. Quote submission. Okay, these are the ones we want to pay attention to. We want to pay attention to those. Quote shall be submitted to the contract specialist listed above. This one, that is Alicia. So did you just notice that? Here it says Alicia, correct? I'm not sure that's the name we have on here. Oh, it is. Nice. Okay. The government is under no obligation to consider any quote received after. Did you see that? We talked about that, correct? after the solicitation closing date or time. Also, I did say in every rule there is an exception, meaning if somebody was sending a real good offer to the government after the due date, they might be so willing to take a look at it. But I'm just making you to know, no matter how robust, how good, how appealing your proposal is, if you were to submit it after the deadline, the government is under no obligations to consider it. That's what I'm just telling you. You might even have the winning bid, but because you're late, the government is not going to consider it. So it's something we have to look out for. It says the bid schedule. So, what is the schedule for the bid? If a bid schedule is included in the solicitation, vendors shall complete the bid schedule in its entirety. All tasks, all years. Like we said, we did mention that there can be multiple year contracts, meaning it can go up to 5 years. So that's just letting you know when you're sending in your bids and your quotes, make sure you do it for all years for the term of the contract. And there we go. Failure. They are saying failure to do so failure to do so will result in the quote being deemed non-responsive. Non-responsive simply means a non-compliant bid. You didn't follow instructions. Sometimes they are good enough to get back to you and say, hey, do you want to adjust this? Do you want to adjust this? Especially if you have a good bid. But other than that, they're just going to say non-responsive. So site visits. Site visits is another aspect of government contracting, especially when it comes to things like the janitorial services, because sometimes the subcontractors we're working with, they want to go on site to see what exactly they will be doing. They want to have an actual idea of the space which they are working in. So sometimes they do take a visit out there, take a look at the place, and determine if they want to do it or not. So some solicitations do have specific dates that they will tell you on Monday, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m., we are open for visitations. However, after that window, you cannot visit. Even if you are a potential contractor with the government, you cannot visit. But in this case, however, they're letting us know if no dates or times for this visit, for site visits is included, then shall contact the technical point of contact TPC identified herein. So we're going to check that. Remember, we did say you need to get yourself a cage code and a UEI to be a federal government contractor. If you have just a cage code, I think you can be a local contractor. A local contractor being a state contractor, meaning you can contract with your local state, your state government, and all of that. But in order for you to be a federal contractor, you need both the UEI and the cage code. So submittals. Now, this is very vital. This is very, very vital. This is very vital. Why is this vital? It says submittals, accidents prevention, blah, 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 and all of these, completed personal field protection, that are specified in the scope of work, in the scope required by these solicitations, are not to be submitted with the quote. So there are some solicitations that require you to have some industry certifications. So they're making us to know this one doesn't really include those certifications. So that shouldn't be our worry, you know. We don't have to worry about certain certifications, you know. But however, there are some industry specific ones that you need to have. So by virtue of you being, say, a plumber, you know, you have to be a licensed plumber. So there are some that are just standard within the industry. So whichever subcontractor we decide to go with, they need to have that. Now, this is a key factor. This this is key, very key. Why is this key? This is key because this is how we know what criteria the government is going to use to evaluate this contract. So it is saying potential vendors are notified that the basis of which award will be made is price alone. So they don't want to get no past performance, you know. Yes, there are contracts that require you to provide past performance and all of that stuff. This one, they're letting you know this is on price. This is on price. Whoever gives the government the best deal, then you get the contract. All responsible sources may submit a quote, which, if timely received, must be considered by the agency. We talked about key. You have to be prompt. If you submit it on time, then they have to consider you. However, if you submit it late, they are under no obligation. Right now, if you submit it on time, they are under an obligation to consider you for the bid. But if not, so we will try to meet the time no matter how crunchy it is. So security requirements, normally these have a lot of security requirements which we will have to go through, you know. Contractors are responsible for meeting performance requirements during elevated FPCON and HPCON levels in accordance with yeah. Okay, bid schedule. Bid schedule will be included as a separate attachment. Bid schedule shall be completed in their entirety in accordance with the instructions to vendors section of the solicitation. Bid schedule Excel sheet are intentionally locked to prevent change. Okay. To prevent change to quantities and formulas. Interested vendors should only add prices in the unit price columns. Bid schedule shall be returned in Excel format. Failure to do so may result in quotes being deemed non-responsive. So good, we have a may, meaning they may consider it. You know, the government just wants a good deal. However, if you give them a shitty deal, you know, they may not. So what is the scope of work? The contractor shall provide all management supervisors. We already read that. No key, passwords, pins, or entry codes to government leased facilities are to be provided to contractors under any circumstance. So that is why this one is not asking us for some kind of top security clearance, because it would appear the contractors will be working in a not so secure area. So location, contractors will furnish all labor, material, equipment, meaning you just bring everything needed to do the job. The federal government is not going to provide you what you need to do the job. So these are the different janitorial cleaning services on a 2-day per week schedule and 104 service days at the following locations. They give us the locations. Janitorial cleaning services on a 3-day per week schedule, 156 service days, of the following locations. They give us schedule. So this schedule is telling us the contract period of performance for the base year will begin at contract award and end 23rd March 2025. In addition, the government may exercise 2 option years with the same scope of service. So, in as much as you get a 5-year contract, they are all valid for 1 year each. It's not that it's just a 5-year contract, if that makes sense. Meaning, it is done on a yearly base. So, after every year, in as much as they say a firm and a fixed price, the truth is there are instances where circumstances change. Maybe they might need to reduce what they pay you because of failure to perform, or they may need to pay you extra because they did require or demand extra work from you. So, as firm as it is, there is some flexibility within it, provided all parties are in agreement. Contractors will use a work schedule for each service that will include approximate times, beginning and completion to the technical point of contact for approval at a pre-work conference. A pre-work conference shall be completed within 14 days of contract award. All submittals for safety and products to be used shall be submitted within 7 days of contract award. Pre-work conferences may be held in person and virtually. All right. Site visits. Contact the technical point of contact to arrange a site visit. The TPOC of this contract is realty specialist. So this person is different from the point of contract for the point of contact for the contract, if that makes sense. This one is for the site. This one is for site visits. So we will keep this. Safety, accidental plan, accident prevention plan, hazard, activity hazard analysis, and AHA shall be submitted and accepted for each definable feature of work. In accordance to the analysis shall define all activities to be performed, identify the sequence of work, okay. First aid, I'm sure those are all certifications. Security, background investigation. Okay, let's look at security. The contractor will comply with all established security policies for the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. Due to periods of heightened security that may affect the access to the areas covered under this contract, areas may be subject to periodic closures, which in turn may reduce or inhibit the contractor's ability to access certain areas. During the periods of heightened security, the government reserves the right at any time to close any property or portions of the property and reschedule or cancel any subsequent service in an area. The contractor shall be given at least 24-hour notice for any such closure. No key, again, no pass access to restricted areas. So, identification of contractors or personnel at government facilities. All contractors, subcontractors, and personnel working at or in any federally controlled facility shall be identified by photo ID issued by the Department of Homeland Security, police agency, or other approved government county agency, which shows the individual's photograph, home address, and all of that good stuff. So, ID. A. Background investigation. All contractors, subcontractors, or personnel working at or in any federal controlled facility shall have a background check investigation. So basically, yes, they just expect that whoever is winning this contract should do their due diligence. And what does this say about non-US citizens? The Department of Homeland Security has a pilot program that employees can join at no fee that allows them to conduct a social security verification check and immigration check on an alien employee. This program is currently available to employees in several states to include New York. For more information, contact that. Quality control, janitorial service, standard description. So this is what they need. But I think we can see all of this in the schedule. So, but this is a document that we will be editing. You get? We will be editing this document to send this over to potential subcontractors. So what page number is this? Page 11, 12, page 11 and 12. All right. So it's asking about what does payment say? The contract shall furnish with one invoice per month. That is key. So this information is key to us, the prime. We are the ones who submit the invoice to be paid. Identifying the contract number, stating the amount of services completed during the month, identified by the item number and quantity. Payment shall be made for the actual services performed. Are you seeing that? Meaning if they were to have one of those their emergencies and you didn't get to do everything that was required of you, you're not going to get paid for it. Basically, that's the gist of it. So because they say they reserve the right, to perform their drills and all of that good stuff. So let's go ahead. Incorporated by so we're just going through the document to see what information we need to send over. These basically will be for supplies in case the subcontractor is using imported materials, goods, and everything. They need that to be listed on there. It's a military base, mind you, or rather a military facility. So authorized deviation in provisions. The use in this solicitation or contract of any federal acquisition regulation clause with an authorized deviation after the date of the clause. This is used. The use in this solicitation or contract of any DFARS clause with an authorization deviation is indicated. Okay. Wage determination. This just tells us wage determination for what they expect. But yeah, so pretty much I think that should be it for this document. I don't think we're going to see anything out of the ordinary. Good. Okay, what is the next attachment? Okay, the next attachment is basically the plan, how the outlook is. So it says here, scan an email checklist at the end of each month to the following. So we should scan and email it to the point of contact. Okay. COE, POC for janitorial issues, no access or no show reports to that. Okay. All right. So this will need to be filled out by the subcontractor. So they say, let's see. This is an amendment. Remember, this solicitation went live and then it was amended a couple of days later on. So this is telling us where to go look at that amendment. It says section 6. So section 6. Are you seeing they did a little bit of change? So they added this on there. Can you see that? All right. And then let's check. This is our bid schedule. So are you seeing that? Base year, which is the year we're in, option 1 will be 2025. Option 2 will be 2026. So this one is 300 square foot and this one is 4,000 square foot. So we will be sending this document over to our potential subcontractor and then they will have to fill it out and give us. So I believe we've checked all the documents we have. Correct? All right. So that is it. It starts from 24th March and ends in, so this is a base year when it's been awarded and end in 2025, then 2026 and end in 2027. So basically a 3-year contract. All right. Let's get into the interesting part of it now. Unless you live in this locale, you and I don't know anybody there, do we? So it says place of performance here. So what are we looking for? Janitorial service. This is where Google comes in. Can you see that? So we do have a bunch. So these guys stand out. Immediately we can see they stand out. They have 198. Wow, that is that is normally the first option that comes to mind. Sometimes I just go through the entire list and I don't always go with the first. Okay? Look at these guys, for example. Do they have a website? No, they don't. So you see, that's a problem. This is one of those cases where you would have to call them. That's the only contact information they have. That is the only contact information they have. Family owned and operated. Free estimate, locally owned, professional service. Yep, at this point now you start asking yourself, okay, let's see the big boys. You see, when you do things like this, it makes your business stand out, whether you agree with us or not. This is good. This is good. But again, all we have is messaging or calling. What services do they provide? Standard cleaning, office cleaning, moving, deep cleaning, house cleaning. Did we take a deep look at this? Emergency cleaning, dusting, carpet cleaning, janitorial, blah, 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 blah. Service desk, high dust. So you see, they don't require them to do anything out of the ordinary. Like, so this should be up there early. Wouldn't you agree? This will be. Okay. So I have chosen. So are these guys telling me nobody has a website? Is it just me or cleaning businesses don't have websites? It sure would be nice if you could go to their website to check what they're up to. Professional service, references available. All right. Well, yeah. We can choose to send them an email. We can choose to send them an email or all right, that's exactly what we're going to do. Let's not push this any further. So, we we do have ChatGPT. Leverage it while you can. Leverage it while you can. Let's go. ChatGPT is your friend. This is another way you can do it. There are so many ways you can do it. It's entirely up to you. How you choose to do it, it's entirely up to you. You can say this is being lazy, but it works. Let's see what it comes up with. Are you seeing that? Can you see that? It even tells you make sure to customize this to your specific details. You don't have to be lazy. ChatGPT has done most of the work for you. So we copy that, and this is where you and I get to do a little bit of work. All right. Okay. We don't need all of that. So we are going to go through this in the next video, the full beat and the full solicitation proposal and how we're going to go about it. Because if we edit this specific document, we can edit it in such a way that we just have to change the name of the different companies that we're reaching out to, if that makes any sense. Then we will be looking about editing the documents we have, these documents. We will be looking about editing them to better fit what our solicitation will be. Anyways, let's not before we jump too far into all of that, how about we do this very easy? Yes, we can write them. We can text them on Google. But then again, what are the chances they're going to reply? So, name, six zero 586. So basically, we're just going to fill out this form, okay? We're going to fill out this form, and this form is going to contain our address in it. And in our address that is in it, we can wait to hear back from them. If we don't hear back from them within 24 hours, then we call them. What are their operating hours? What are their operating hours? We didn't get one for them. What about these guys? 24/7 emergency service. These ones, they do. This is a 5-star. So we will be reaching out to these guys too. These guys, however, they don't give us the ability to call them. I mean, the ability to text them on Google. So we would only have to call them. But it is strange that businesses like this don't have websites. Is Google just toiling with me? Or is this actually a thing? They don't. You know what? Let's try. Same thing. Oh, it uses Google. Okay, these ones they do have a website. You see? These ones do have a website. So I think we can go with the ones that have a website and see. But yeah, so request for a free quote. Contact. So that is their email. Yep, so we can go ahead and in the next video, we're just going to look at this detailedly and how to go about contacting them. So now we've gone through all the necessary documents. It's all about now reaching out to potential subcontractors. We're going to be doing that in the next video. And then from there, we're just going to play the wait game. We're just going to wait the waiting game, wait for them to get back to us, or after 24 hours, we can be proactive to call them and ask them if they did see our email. If not, we just talk with their representative online and see if it's something they would be interested in, if that makes sense. All right, see you in the next video. Bye.